here's the thing. For everybody listening, don't make the same mistake the Bengals just did in any facet of your life.
People are going to get hurt. It's the hockey season.
What about the Jared Cook play on the sideline?
I was very tempted to just put defense.
I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
Come on, Austin and I have been saying this ever since Joe Burrow got injured.
I don't really think the Dodgers are going to make the World Series this year. I feel like they'll make it to the NLCS.
The Fernando Tatis extension, because that really surprised me.
Like you said, Ovechkin, he's getting older. He hasn't been playing as well as I imagined. He's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, but he hasn't started off this season as hot as I would hope.
Hi, I'm Jeff Allen, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I am Kevin, and I am joined by the man that's not too cold, not too hot, just right, Austin.
Yeah, today we will be using some of that verbiage that you just said in regards to the rookie QB. So, too early or just right. This is just in regards to not all the starting first-year starters. We're not including Sam Howell or Jordan Love or Desmond Ridder. We're just doing the rookie QBs where they started too early, or was it just right for them? So this is Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. I'll let you start on any one of those guys you want to talk about first.
I'm probably going to go Bryce Young, and I'm going to say just right. I think he's ready. I think there are other issues, and there are glimpses. So I think this is kind of the path he's on because he was at Alabama last year, and I don't know how he can go from Alabama and sit because I feel Alabama is probably one of the most NFL ready places.
Yeah, but we've seen QBs from good situations sit and it still work out for them. I'm going to say too early on Bryce Young just because just how he makes decisions in the pocket, he doesn't necessarily look ready. I'm sure you saw this article. I can't remember if you sent it to me or another friend did about Bryce Young, but they can't run the sneak play, the push play on third and short because he isn't big enough. So maybe if you let him sit a year, he could put on some size. But
okay,
from watching the Saints game and also the Falcons game, you can see the talent there. And I'm not saying to sit him for a whole season, but it's obvious that he's not necessarily ready.
Okay. Yeah, there have been moments. But then the thing that sticks out to me was when he rolled out and then he found Thielen. But yeah, I understand your point on too early. But to me, I'm just going to say he's struggling right now, but I don't know if sitting him would help it. So that's just my view on him.
Well, I don't think you can go back on it. Like, I don't think they shouldn't start him next week. But I don't know if he should have started week one. When you signed Andy Dalton, I feel like he could have started the first 5-6 weeks. And then he bring in Bryce Young. I'll compare this sort of to a guy, Anthony Richardson, who's been playing extremely well. But as Trevor Lawrence said after the first game of Richardson's career, he needs to learn not to take those hits. And I'm going to say too early with him, too, just because he doesn't know how to play. He's too wild at times. He's extremely talented, but he puts himself in danger by what he's doing. That's why he has a concussion. That's why he hurt his knee in the first game. He's taking risks unnecessarily where he get about the same amount of yards. And it's obviously hurting him because we don't even know if he's going to play this week. He probably will, even though he's in has some concerns with the concussion. But again, he's a good backup behind him with Gardner Minshew. And maybe if you could kind of teach him how to play the position in the NFL, because it is so much different than college. And those guys hitting you are so much bigger, so much faster, so much stronger. You have to know how to protect yourself or you could be in big danger.
That's fair. Anthony Richardson's tough for me because I would have set him early just because I don't think he has the full capabilities of the position. But I liked what the Colts were doing with him early on. They were using that running part of his game to get him into rhythm, and then he would make some throws. But yeah, you bring up a great point with him not the way you were talking about reminded me of Josh Allen and just sometimes he'll truck a dude or try to hurdle someone. I'm like, you're not a running back, you're the quarterback, just slide.
Yeah, you don't want to be Taysom Hill. I mean, all love to Taysom Hill, but he's not a quarterback. He can throw, but that's not his primary objective. He's also a tight end, a running back, in every other position in the world. But Taysom Hill's also a lot bigger than Richardson. Richardson's a slight build, and he's fast, and he can make the right reads, it looks like, but you can't make the right read if you're hurt.
Yeah, so Richardson's tough for me because I would have wanted him to rest and take some time, but they started him. But he's done probably out of these 3 QBs the best so far.
No.
No.
I would say Stroud has been the best, and he was the one I was going to say is just right.
Okay.
What CJ Stroud is building a lot of connections in his own offense between Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and Robert Woods, who have all played amazing thus far. Stroud looks extremely, extremely proficient and impressive during his games. He hasn't thrown any picks. Last game, he threw for 384 yards on a good completion percentage and threw for 2 touchdowns. Him and Nico Collins, like I mentioned before, they just look like they play forever with each other. And Stroud is the one that I thought was going to struggle a little bit more than Bryce to start his career, but Stroud has really been amazing. 626 yards to 2 games. He's averaging 313, but he's been sacked 11 times, 93 yards. He's the most sacks and most sacked yardage. He's getting sacked a ton, but he's making right reads. He's not throwing interceptions. So as long as the Houston Texans could keep him safe, I totally agree that this is just right. He is showing to be a very, very good prospect.
Yeah, I was debating too early because I remember I thought there were moments where he just wasn't doing well. But with what you said, yeah, it's just right. Yeah, I think the guy I would only, if I had to do it all over, I would keep Bryce Young and I would keep Stroud, but I would keep Richardson off, or I wouldn't start him, just because I don't think he's the best quarterback compared to Bryce Young and Stroud, but he has some because with Richardson he has that ability of almost Lamar Jackson, I think.
Yeah, I
Except
can
Lamar
see that.
Jackson is a better passer in my opinion. So that's my thing. So if you're aiming for that, and Lamar took time, so that would be my thing with Richardson. The other 2 guys, I want them learning because I think they can handle it. And I can see someone's argument for Stroud, but I would have started him and Young. So I think they're just right, Young and Stroud. And then, but it's difficult with Richardson now because he played so well in the first 2 games.
Yeah, it's just the injury concerns me. With Bryce, he's made some bad throws, and maybe that's just what happens when you're a rookie. But I'm just concerned for how he's kind of building the offense now. Like you mentioned before, Alabama is such a well-oiled machine. Usually, maybe not this season, but usually they are. And he was so impressive in college. I could definitely see what you're saying by starting him, but I definitely think that there's going to be there's going to be more growing pains at the moment from what I can see with Bryce Young than there's going to be with Stroud.
Yeah, and I wonder if those growing pains could be solved with another weapon. Because it was during the Monday Night Football game, Orlovsky was talking about the throws. There's not a lot of space being created between the wide receivers.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not incredible wide receiver talent in with the Texans. They have a rookie in Tank Dell. Nico Collins hasn't really been anything before this season, and they have Robert Woods, who's coming off one of the worst years of his career. Thielen looked really good for the Panthers on Monday night. But besides Thielen, I do agree there is a lack of weapons there. But outside of the backfield, I really, really like Chuba Hubbard, the young guy, and then Miles Sanders also was proficient at times. So I think he has more rushing weapons, while in Houston, Damian Pierce, Devin Singletary, Mike Boone, Dare Agubuale all struggled running the ball, while there's a lot more of a rushing attack in the Panthers, which can help a young QB out.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's our video. Any thoughts on or anything you want to mention for this past week or this past week? I don't think it was good. It was fun watching it, but I don't know if there's anything glaring.
Yeah, I don't think there necessarily is anything.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it more next week. That's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.